Alright, what's up YouTube? Welcome to my overview video of the Hinder Knives XM24. Now, I want to apologize because it's taken me this long to put out an overview of this knife. I've just been busy over the past few weeks and I've had some new sort of new knives come in and out of my collection. I'm sorry, my phone's over there. Let me just put that on silent so it doesn't disturb us anymore. Silent, okay. Now, yeah, so I've had this knife for a couple of weeks now and I've carried it for the first few weeks. I carried it practically every day. For the first 2 or 3 weeks I practically carried this every day because well, I enjoyed carrying it, and because it was a new knife I just wanted to know how well this knife could perform as an EDC and if it would grow on me, because before making the purchase I was still a little skeptical about the hype that Hinder knives has, because they do command such high prices on the secondary market, and for most of us that's the main way we are ever going to get a Hinder, unless of course we go to a knife show, blade show, whatever, and we win the lottery and we are able to purchase a Hinder knife exclusively directly from Rick Hinder. But apart from that, the only other way that you can purchase a knife directly from Rick Hinder is if you're somehow involved in law enforcement or the military or are a firefighter. Yeah, so I'm none of those. I'm not even a US citizen. I actually live in Malaysia. So yeah, chances of me owning a Hinder knives are pretty much close to zero. I mean directly from Hinder. So I got this off the secondary market. And I am actually fortunate to be able to admit that I paid I definitely didn't pay primary market price. I believe the prices on this directly from Rick Hinder is about 550 US dollars, I believe. I paid slightly higher. If I was to take into account taxes and shipping and whatnot, I'd say I paid about 650 US dollars. So, definitely not the worst price to pay, but definitely close to primary market. But I paid about $100 more, and it's definitely a reasonable amount to me. I mean, I've seen XM24s go for like 900, 800, 900, $1,000. So in comparison to those prices, I'd say 650 is quite a reasonable price. Now, because of this issue with Hinder knives, I have to assess this knife as a $700 knife. That's that's the that's the sort of price tag that I'm gonna put on this knife. It's a $700 knife because most of us, I mean, that's the main way that's the sort of the only way that we can get a Hinder knife, which is through the secondary market, and we have to we have to pay quite a premium to own Hinder. So I have to look at this as a knife that's priced at $700. So this overview is basically gonna be with that sort of price issue taken into consideration. So quick specs: 4-inch blade, overall about 9 inches. Weight, it won't make your pants drop if you're wearing belts. Weight isn't really an issue for me. I generally just carry one knife in my right pocket. I don't carry anything else. I don't carry my wallet, phone, keys, whatever. So weight isn't really an issue for me, and I wear my belts every day, so it's not really too much of a cumbersome knife as far as weight goes. It's quite carryable, quite EDCable. I love the stonewash finish. Let me see if I can get it to focus. I love the stonewash finish that Hinder knives come with. Even the stonewash on the handle is a very fantastic working finish. It glimmers, it almost glimmers in the light. It's very beautiful, and at the same time very practical finish. This knife, I'll tell you what I don't like about this knife first. Yeah, it will make things easier that way. Okay, point number one. For a price for $700, you can get a lot of cool ass knives for $700. You can get full handmade custom knives for $700. So you have to take that into consideration when you're buying a hinderer. And one of the trademarks of a good flipper, a good high-end flipper, is its ability to flip without, flicking your wrist. Now hinderers, they're generally not known for having good detents or being great flippers, but as far as this particular knife is concerned, this particular XM24 that I'm holding in my hand, I can't speak for all the XM24s out there because I've only handled maybe two. This is like the second one I've handled. Yeah, they don't flip too bad. I mean, they're not rocket fast, but as you can see here, I am not using my wrist at all. See? Nah. Oh, sorry, that was a bad flip. My fault. See? No blade play. No wrist action needed at all. So yeah, as far as flipping action goes, it's definitely not the best. Far from being the best, but at the same time, you can still flip it open without wrist action. The next thing that I don't really like is this part here. This part here is, I'm not sure if you can hear that. Let me just bring it closer to the mic. Yeah, that part there is a little bit sharp. I think you can see some of my skin is scraped off there. Yeah, that part's a little sharp. Not really a big issue for most people, but it's just something that I wanted to point out. And what else? There was something else. What was it? Yeah, I guess actually, that's basically it. Oh, the third thing would be that because this knife is priced at such a high price point, I feel that it looks a little bit sloppy. I mean, maybe to most people this knife would look, most people think that this is a very handsome looking, very bold looking knife. I certainly think so. I would use those words to describe this knife, but at the same time I would also use sloppy, because look at this. There are like screws here, screws here, screw here, screw here, screw here, screw here, just screws everywhere, and the pivot, it's not exactly the best looking pivot out there. So for a $700 knife, I would want a knife that looks a bit more presentable. I'm sure some of you may say, oh, it's a hard use knife, who cares about presentation and whatnot. Well, I do. Because I'm paying such a high premium for this knife, I just would prefer a bit more focus on the aesthetic appeal of the knife. But apart from that, here comes the part where I tell you guys what I like about the knife. Apart from the things that I don't like, this knife is actually a very good knife overall. Is it the sharpest knife I've handled? No, but it can shave arm hair off perfectly fine, perfectly well. It's very good ergonomics. I like the front finger choil here. I wish they had, yeah, that was it. I wish that they had blunted off this portion here, because this part is sharp. So if you have like fat chubby fingers, or if you sort of grab it a bit too fast, you may sort of cut yourself. Yeah, I can feel it poking to my finger there. So yeah, if you have like chubby fingers, little chubby fingers, then that might be an issue for you. Ergonomics, very nice, very, very comfortable in hand. It's smooth, definitely not ball bearing smooth. This thing does run on washers, but heck, it doesn't have to have bearings to be smooth. Apart from that, yeah, I guess I generally like this knife. Yeah, actually I would say I love this knife, but is this the best knife in my collection? No, definitely not. Would I recommend this knife to people? Well, that depends on what you see this knife as. I would see it as a grail knife, yes, but not the way not the way this knife is a grail knife. This is a Wilmoon Mark 6. This knife is a pure custom knife. This is a production knife. And yeah, if you can justify this knife being a grail knife to you, then hey, that's great. But I just can't, because, well, it's a production knife, and there are so many like it out there. But is it worth being in a collection? I'd say yeah, because it's difficult to obtain, and it does come with fantastic fit and finish. You hear people talk about the prices that Rick Hinder knives demands, but you never once hear about fit and finish issues. They always come with fantastic fit and finishes, and just the highest level of knife making quality that anyone could ask for. Yeah, so to sum it up, this is a great knife. I think what the price I paid for was well worth the knife, and I definitely have no regrets in getting the knife. It's quite a fantastic knife. I like the ergonomics. I've carried it for, like I mentioned, 2 to 3 weeks. It served me well. It feels great in the pocket, jimping wherever it's supposed to be. Very comfortable jimping all around, and yeah. So yeah, I definitely would recommend you getting a Hinder if you're interested in checking one out. Just pay attention to the prices. If you think it's reasonable, then great. But keep in mind you can get many other things with the price that you're paying. So yeah, I'll just end this video right here. And thanks for watching, guys.